This is the Clark Connection Podcast, your weekly dose of inspiration and power. We'll dive deep into the stories and strategies that ignite personal growth and entrepreneurial fire. Join us as we empower you to take control, level up your leadership, and build the life you deserve. Get ready to rise, to thrive, and to finally become the leader of your own destiny. Let's go. And welcome back to the Clark Connection Podcast, where we dive deep into leadership, personal growth, and the entrepreneurial journey. I'm your host, Aaron Clark, aka The Coach. And today's episode is one you don't want to miss. I'm sitting down with Jay George, founder of Learn First, a man who's not only reshaping how we think about education, but also leading by example when it comes to growth and grit. In our conversation, Jay opens up about his powerful journey, from early challenges in the education sector to building a mission-driven organization that empowers others. He shares candid insights on the value of mentorship, the impact of continuous learning, and why taking action, even when fear and insecurity creep in, is the real game changer. But before we dive in, now I got to give a shout out to my premier sponsors, Vicki Hubbard with Hubbard Flooring Studios. Vicki and her team are masters at transforming spaces, laying down foundations of beauty and strength, just like the foundations we build in leadership. Whether you're looking to refresh your home or reimagine your workspace, Hubbard Flooring Studios has you covered from the ground up. And they've just added the Hunter Douglas blinds. So go give them a visit at their location on Boylan Avenue in Baton Rouge. You can give them a call at 225-924-1582, or if you just kind of want to check it out, go to hubbardflooringstudios.com. Remember, great leadership starts with a strong foundation, and Vicki and her team know exactly how to set that in place. They also want to give another quick shout out to all of our other sponsors. Wayne with 7K Metals for all your silver and gold needs, your trusted source for securing your financial future. Bobbie with the Comfy Quest LLC, your destination for holistic healing and craniosacral therapy. Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, bringing ease and efficiency to your business. Joseph with Landscape King, creating beautiful outdoor spaces 1 yard at a time. And C&J Embroidery, that creating custom designs that make your brand pop. We're so grateful for all their support. And if you're looking for any of their services, go check them out and make sure you tell them that the coach sent you. And if you've got questions or you're just wanting to connect with me, click on that link below in the show notes to fill out a quick form. I'd love to hear from you, and I get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Now, a little bit about my man Jay. He is the owner of Learn First. Prior to that, he owned 2 businesses, and he played basketball and football, or soccer as we call it, at the National League level. And so look, whether you're an entrepreneur, an educator, or someone who is striving to lead with a purpose, Jay's story is packed with wisdom for you. So make sure you grab a notebook or just get ready to be inspired. So let's jump into my conversation with Jay. All right, and welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you. Glad to be here, man.
Oh, my pleasure. And look, I just kind of rattled off a little bit about you. I know your company is called Learn First. Tell us a little bit more about what is Learn First.
Sure. Learn First is a student recruitment and automation agency for the education sector. So when I say education sector, I mean traditional education. So you're talking universities, colleges, and vocational training. We are, as you can probably tell from the accent, I'm from London, UK. We originally started in the UK. We've now kind of branched out into more USA, Canada, and we're doing a few bits in the UAE, which is the United Arab Emirates, so Dubai, Sharjah, that Middle Eastern area as well. But that's what we do basically. We help the institutions get more bums on seats, aka students, and we help with their operations. So basically streamlining operations through automation and AI, basically. So that could be anything from the admissions process all the way up to retaining a student or helping the student complete a program. But that's it. Going for about 5-6 years now.
Dude, and that's awesome. So making it past the 5-year mark, a huge deal for all of us entrepreneurs, man. Good night. The first 5 years were miserable.
Listen, we can talk about this. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible stuff, man.
And so, I mean, all right. So let's talk when it first got started. Like, what was one thing, if you could go back and tell, hey, young Jay, they just starting out with Learn First, or I think you said it started off as Grow Social.
Yeah, it was different name.
What would you tell that Jay just starting out? Like,
do you know what I'd say? I would say figure out who the right clients are and just work with them, because you're going to save yourself a lot of time, energy, and effort. That's the biggest thing I would say. But then what I've also, actually, this is what if I'm keeping it 100% with you, this is what I would say. I would say your business is only going to grow as fast as you grow. So if you're not growing, then business doesn't matter it's never going to work. So you're the problem, basically. So a lot of the times I thought there was different problems. The pandemic happened, all this sort of stuff. But ultimately, I was the problem. So I would say to him, you are the problem. You need to grow. And every time you get to a certain point of growth and you think we don't have this, we don't have that, you're the problem. Like, you don't have the skills to hire the right people, or you don't have the ability to get the right resources. It's always you. It's never like some random thing in business that's the problem. It's just you. So figure out how to develop yourself constantly and you should be fine.
Yeah, and I'm glad to clarify that, because I know I'm not the problem. I'm glad you said it's Jay's the problem. I'm never the problem. But don't ask my wife or anybody else that works with me.
Yeah, I was about to say, if I ask other people in your life, maybe a different story. But that's what I've just had to learn to accept, man. And that's what, yeah.
Oh, no, and it's true. I think, that's one of my things that I preach, that is that everything rises and falls on leadership. So if your business isn't doing good, go look in the mirror. That's where the person is.
Yeah, 100%.
And so when you say to actually grow, your business won't grow past what you can do. What do you mean? Like, how do you grow yourself? What do you mean by that?
So like I mentioned, like when you first asked the question, I mentioned about the right clients and all this sort of stuff. I guess I was insecure at the time because I didn't understand the education sector as much as I understood other sectors, because I was new to it. So I was kind of insecure. So I was working with the wrong types of clients, because I felt like working with lower tier clients would give me the confidence I needed to work with bigger tier clients. But the principle and the value I could provide was the same. So if I just started working with the bigger clients quicker, we would have got to different places quicker. But again, that was a me problem, wasn't it? Because we have the big clients now, but there was no difference. There was no like magic. It was just, I changed my perspective. I started to reach out to some of the, when I first started, I was scared to reach out to these big clients in the UK at these big colleges. I didn't even want to reach out to them. Like, I think one time I had an opportunity to speak to someone. I didn't even want to speak to them. I was like, oh no, it's okay. But because the truth is I didn't really feel like we could deliver for them, but I could. It's just that I guess I didn't have the confidence and understanding, but the principle was the same. But the small clients, the big clients, it's the same thing. So there was no difference. It was just me. Like I said, I was kind of the problem.
Yeah. Oh, it kind of reminds me. Have you read the book Relentless by Tim Grover?
Oh, Tim Grover. No, I haven't, but it's on my list. Let me double check actually. But it's on my list. No, I haven't read it, but it's on the list for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like everybody is familiar with who Michael Jordan is, but that was Michael Jordan's personal trainer. So, I mean, most well-known basketball player ever, probably the greatest competitor ever in Michael Jordan. And he talks about that in his book. Why did it take me so long to get to work with professional athletes? He said, I legitimately talk to every single Chicago Bull basketball player except Michael Jordan, because I was like, Michael Jordan would never want to work with a small fish like me. And he finally said, you know what? I'll ask.
And look what happened.
Yeah. And so it's fun because I mean, that does a lot of us that do that hold ourselves back like that because I'm afraid to ask. Maybe Jay won't want me to be a client of his, or won't want me to come in and work with his team, or fill in the blank, because I've never worked with.
But it literally does. It's just a you problem. You're just basically insecure. Well, I would say I was insecure at the time. Which, yeah, just look, if you, no matter what you do, like you said, if you've got an insecure leader, and whether it's just you in the company or one or two other people, you're still the leader. So if you don't lead it correctly, it's just not going to work, man.
Yeah. And so, like, other things that you do to grow yourself, like what other things do you do to help Jay grow as a leader?
Great question. What do I do? No, I'm on the spotlight here. To be fair, reading is one of them. So I don't know if we'll probably go into books and stuff later on, but reading is definitely one of them. I am not reading as much as I did last year, this year. Maybe because I'm a bit busier, but I still prioritize it. I still read. I still have books. So reading is number one. Number two would be masterminds or events, shall we say. Masterminds or events. So, that is a big one.
Those are huge. Just, I didn't realize how huge that was for my growth until I started, I guess it was 2 years that I started going to them again and connecting with other thought leaders.
For 100%. There's a lot of stuff. It was just the only thing I could say. I guess it was a game changer, man. Every single mastermind I've been to has been a game changer. There's been one thing that I've taken away that just takes things to the next level for me. And then ultimately, once I implement it into myself, obviously then it feeds into the business and my level of leadership for my business and my team. For sure.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but what is it? That you become the sum of the top 5 people you hang around with the most. So, I mean, if you're only hanging out with you, how do you make yourself better?
Yeah, that's a big problem. That I even have because I have a home office now. I used to have an office actually, but we now have a home office. Everything I do is remote, and the team's now remote. It wasn't remote before, so it's like it's always just me. I do meet people face to face. Like I had a meeting yesterday, I have a meeting today, but it's like too much alone time. Too much. I'm in my own head, which is the problem. But again, maybe we'll discuss this at a later point. I don't even know if you know this, but actually not planning. Me personally is gonna be moving to Dubai. We're setting up a company in Dubai. Obviously, we have potential business interests there. So that's the plan. And it's not only there's many reasons why I'm moving, but the biggest reason is environment. Like, cause from those masterminds, I realized, like you said, you're the sum of the 5 people you're around. From that mastermind, I realized I need to be around one of those masterminds is in Dubai, by the way. But I need to be in the best environment. London, we can talk about the UK and London if you want, but because I think your guys' perspective is different. Obviously, I live here. I was born here. I'm born and bred. But yeah, planning to move to Dubai for a better environment to help me grow. So you asked the question, how do I grow? Environment's number 1, mastermind's number 2, and books number 3. That's how I grow. And that's basically, and then, so yeah, if I can get myself in the right environment, I know that I will grow.
Right. Well, and here's the other thing that's popular or that's so powerful about them. So like one, I'll even pull in my own experience. So like whenever I was on your podcast, we were talking about, Delta College and what were you doing to help grow it and learn? So one I was struggling with for a little while is I didn't think my admissions team was where it needed to be. And I thought we were struggling and there was a huge problem. But as I start talking to other directors of admissions and other people around the states and even in my local area, that you start seeing, okay, so if we're at a lead to enrollment right now of 11%, the national average is 6.5%. Okay. So we're kicking butt and taking names.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So what's the other issue? And you start looking into, all right. So I'm a little focused on the wrong thing. So talking with them, all right, you're leading a successful team. What do I have to do to make sure my team's successful? What do I have to do? And I think, and you're an open enough person that you would do the same thing, which is why you said, hey, I'm moving to Dubai. I got to get around more successful people so I can become a better person because I want my team and my company to grow. Huge, man. Huge.
Well, 100%. But as you said, it's the right person that's open enough I guess, humble enough. And someone's going to take action. Obviously, moving to Dubai is a big deal. Like, it's an 7 hour flight for us in the UK. It's long for you guys. I'm moving my whole life. Do you know what I mean? So it's a big deal, but I think it'll be worth it. That's the hope anyway, but that's the plan.
But if that's what you got to do to grow, I love that you're open enough to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. If it doesn't work, we're going to sit down, look at it again, and figure out what we got to do better.
So yeah, 100%. I'm always willing to go back to drawing board. I've always kind of had to be fair, but yeah, I guess I'm used to having to go to drawing board, used to failure, used to learning and growing and just getting over things, really.
Yeah. And I know that was one that you told me. So on that, it kind of triggered the memory. So what was it that got you into the journey of the entrepreneur? I remember you saying, I was terrible at school.
Oh yeah. My journey, so I was always different. I always thought I was an entrepreneur. I always thought like I would be in business since I was a kid. Like for example, like my mom's from the Caribbean, like mom's from Trinidad. So like when I was younger, she would take us to Trinidad, and like I was like, she would let me go and like me and my cousin would go running around the neighborhood in Trinidad, and I was just trying to like wash people's car for money and stuff like that. Like I'm always like thinking about like, do you know what I mean? So I was always entrepreneurial, but where I come from and the environment and all this sort of stuff, it's like I come from a working class background. There's no entrepreneurs, so it's like I needed to identify with someone. This was pre-Instagram. So I didn't see anyone. So I didn't understand I didn't understand really who I was. It was hard to identify with myself because I was different. Typically entrepreneurs are different from everyone around them and their families. I always knew I was an entrepreneur. In terms of being totally honest, the biggest thing I had was, like I said, I didn't have the role models, I guess. And my environment was just it wasn't a place that was suitable for that sort of mindset. And it wasn't a growth mindset sort of environment. And so it gave me, what's the word? I had like a lack of confidence in terms of, I didn't believe I could be an entrepreneur. I just believed other people could. I thought it was like a thing like you see on because again, this is maybe I'm aging myself here. I don't think I'm old, but like when it's so weird because I'm a millennial. So like I grew up without the internet. And then as I got older, we had the internet. So like when I was younger, there was no Instagram. There was nothing. So it was like I couldn't see anything. The only thing I could see was when I sat down on the TV, maybe with my dad or whatever. And I'm only watching what he's watching because, dad gets the remote. So it's like, I didn't see anything. So it's like,
the bills, he gets the remote.
Yeah, basically. So funny enough, I used to watch a lot of politics, but so that's it. Like I didn't really see anything. I didn't have confidence. But when I did see some sort of business person on TV, I just thought, oh, that's cool. That's them. I wish I could be that person, but I'm not that person. Then I realized that doesn't work like that. It's just, if you're willing to take action, if you can figure it out, anyone can be an entrepreneur technically. So then I thought, I think it was the age around 24, 25. I tried businesses. Like I used to do like, trainers. I think you guys call it sneakers. Like, you customize your sneakers. Like you can spray paint it. I had that as a business. Like I used to hustle with that. Then I was in Trinidad. I was trying to wash people's cars. I used to sell sneakers. I used to try everything, but official business started around the age of 25. That's when I started. In terms of, to answer your question, the reason I started, it's kind of an interesting, I call it interesting, but maybe you can call it sad, but someone that was close to us in the family, a close cousin, she used to live with us as well. She got terminal cancer. She was like 35. She was young. She was like 32 even, 33. And she got diagnosed with terminal cancer, and she had kids and all this sort of stuff. And it was that was the first time that I experienced, like, I've experienced death and that before, but it's like, it hit me differently because I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like, I've just explained my stuff. I've always been trying to do it, but I never went like into it. I was just too scared to take the action. But seeing her, like literally the moment they diagnosed her, within 10 days, she lost like so much weight. She was on the hospital bed. It was like life is short, man. You know what I mean? So I was like, and she's young. She was in her 30s. I think I was 23, 24, 25 at the time. So I was like, man, you got to if you want to do, you got to take action, man. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to do whatever you want to do, just do it. Because like life is short. So to be fair, that's what pushed me. So I left my job and I'm just going for it. So I left my job and just went straight into business, which was stupid, but that's what I did. That's why I started and that's how I started. So yeah.
And hey guys, if you're enjoying what you've seen and heard so far, man, make sure you like, subscribe, follow the show. And drop a comment below. That do you agree, disagree that with what we've talked about so far? Is like, what would you say your first mistake was in business? How have you overcome what it is that you're coming through? That way, maybe we can share and help other people learn and grow on their leadership journey. And so, Jay, that I think you hit, because I wrote this down earlier, that confidence is key, but then you said take action. And I think that's where we all struggle as, and I'll say leaders, that because it's all there is taking action. It's one, like I work with that as I'm, the corporate director of admissions. So I work with 6 other directors at other campuses, but then I have several other clients. And that's one that I always tell them is I'll go, all right, so you've got to make this decision that on the count of 3, you're going to tell me what you're doing. 1, 2, 3. What are you doing? And they're like, well, I think I should go to the mall and buy ice cream. Cool. That's what you're doing. That's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. But that's what I tell them is, all right, so trust that gut instinct. And they'll, well, what if? I'm like, stop, go do that. We can fix what you mess up, but go do it. Because anytime you got to do something, but there's 3 things that happen. The best thing, you make the right decision. Second thing, you make the wrong decision. Worst thing you can do is make no decision. Make a decision. Take action. I was saying something, my apologies and condolences go out to you about your cousin that living with you. But it's so awesome that you use that to say, you know what, I'm going to take this setback. I was that close family member, and I'm going to use that to push me forward. I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm not living.
I can't say no more waiting. After that, I just said, this life is short, man. Because she was in her 30s. The funny thing, she'd still lived for a few years after that, but it's like, I didn't expect anyone in their 30s to literally be told you got terminal cancer and then within less than 10 days, you've lost all this weight. Like, to me, I didn't know that was possible until I saw it. And I was like, okay, life is not what I was short. So, yeah.
30 is way too young. 30 is way too young. Oof.
Literally, because you don't expect that. I didn't expect that. I did not. Like, it hit me. Like, I did not expect that. So, that's the lesson I took from it. And I think that's the thing that pushed me the most. Because I was always like, as I said, I was doing stuff. This was the one that was like, look, if you're not happy in your life right now, you need to make, like you said, like 1, 2, 3, what are you going to do? Like, do something. So, and I took that literally. Like, even on a personal note, I had a girlfriend at the time. I wasn't happy, so I ended that. Like, I ended everything. I ended my career, like, literally, I just, look, I'm not happy. I'm lying to myself. I'm lying to everyone. I know who I really am. I know what I want to do. 20, I don't know how old I was, maybe 25. I said, look, I've still got a bit of time. I'm just going to take action, man. There's no, it is what it is. So that's what I did.
I love it, man. I just go get it.
Literally. Because, man, you realize how fickle life can be. It's not, anything can happen. So I'm just like, let's just get on with it, man.
And a cool thing too, that you said, they always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. All I could focus on, as we were growing up, they didn't have that Instagram and Facebook. And I remember when MySpace hit and I was like, But we didn't have, I think that's the problem with what's going on now is that these young people see, oh, wow, so-and-so is hitting it big on whatever. And they've got their life figured out, but okay, so they got lucky, but then what are they doing to keep that going? What are you doing to keep that action going? And to realize that most people don't get financially stable, successful until I think somebody said it's like 43, 44. But because it takes that long for you to figure it out. Good night. So, naturally there are going to be some younger, but like Ray Kroc, the guy who's known for pushing McDonald's, he didn't get it till he was 52.
Yeah, I watched the movie as well.
The Founder.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Oh man,
I'm gonna watch it again. Actually, I'm gonna watch that again. That was a good movie. I'm gonna watch that.
Oh, it's so good. So, but yeah, no. That I love it. Take action. Now, one that you mentioned and several other stuff that as we were talking, that was the importance of the mentorship in your life. And that you had said you had a mentor that really helped shape your leadership. Uh, let's talk about that a little bit. How did that first mentor or one mentor, you said, you didn't say if it was your first, that helps shape you as the business person you are today?
Yeah, of course. It was massive in my life, to be honest with you. I'm forever indebted and grateful to him. It was weird the way I met him as well. So my first business, this is not my first business. So I had another business, that lasted about 2 years, and I got into this one. So now it's 5 years. But, that business was basically crashing and burning. And I was I was sat there on my laptop trying to figure it
Amazing
out.
how that happens on the first one, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, actually, funnily enough, that's not my first. That was my second business. So the first business crashed and burned. Then I started the second business, and that's where I met him. But so interesting enough, even that business. So basically, that business was we were like, so it was an outsourced, what's it called? Outsourced, amenities company. That sounds way too complicated. Basically, what it was, you go to a hotel. Every time you go to a hotel, there's a gym and then there's a spa, right? But typically, the hotels they don't manage those facilities. It may look like they do, but they don't. It's outsourced to a company. Yeah, typically, yeah. So the spa will be another company. Yeah, it seems like, because obviously they go connected with that's the hotel staff, and it's all like, it looks like one, but it's not. So they outsource it to another company in the spa area. Then in this this was a Hilton, by the way, in the UK. So they had the spa, then they had the gym area, which we was managing, then they had a swimming pool spa area as well, that another company. So there's 3 companies managing their facilities. So that's what the company was. So I was there. So typically I was in the Hilton doing work or whatever. And that's where I met him. He was on a holiday. He was on his own. It was bank holiday. He was just taking a break. And that's where I met him. And yeah, he asked me a question or something like that. We got talking, and then he found out I was in business. And because obviously he's in business, so he was just curious. He would start talking. And then that was it, basically. That's how we met. So that was quite random, but interesting. But it was transformational for me, because obviously at that time, my business was basically crashing and burning. So I wasn't really in the mood to talk. But we started talking. That was in Manchester in the UK. If you know Manchester United, then you know that's where it was. That's where I was based at the time. But I'm from London, so I came back to London. His office, his stuff was in London. And then, yeah, so what I had to do was I had to come back, business crashed and burned, had to get a job. I was in the city, like central city, if you want to call it that, downtown, working there. And then he had an office there as well. So I used to go. So basically, 9 to 5, I'll be at my work, and then I would go to his office from like 5 to like 1 a.m., maybe 12. On average, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m., 5 p.m. to 12 p.m. Then I go home and then do everything again. Then I'll go to his office on the weekend. But I think the biggest thing with him is I think he just saw another version of himself in me, which I think a lot of mentors see. That's why they usually help. It's like they see something in you that reminds them of himself with because he's a lot older. I don't know his age. I think he's 60 plus. He looked great, by the way. He was in great shape. He looked a little younger, but I think he's about 60. And yeah, he was the one that mentored me for a long period of time. I'd say at least a year and a half, 2 years. So I'd go to his office and just sit there and learn. And that was mainly it. The biggest things I learned about leadership, the biggest things he taught me, by the way, were 2 things. He taught me how to work and how hard to work. He taught me what hard work is, and he taught me what work is. And also, do you know, I've even got some notes on it. Let's see, to be fair. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Yeah, so he taught me how to work, how hard to work, and how to think. Now, this may sound, I don't know what it's sounding like to you guys, but because when he said that to me, he even said to me, he's like, "You don't know how to think." I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you like? Is this like, is the joke?
Thinking right now, man.
Like, yeah. So he taught me how to think, how to work, and how hard to work. I didn't know what hard work was. I thought I was working hard. Until he taught me how to work. And the biggest way he did that was audit. He audited me. So like, he would sit there and he'd be like, "Cool. So you have a business. What are you doing?" Like, he audited my time, like hour by hour. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and then my girlfriend was going to come over and we're going to spend the whole weekend together. So he was like, "Okay, so you're going to see her on, like, let's say it's 10 a.m. Saturday. Like, cool. So what's happening at like 2 p.m. on Saturday?" Oh, I'm going to be with her. Cool. So what's happening at 8 p.m. Saturday? Well, she's going to be here. Okay, cool. So, okay, then Sunday, what's happening? I'm like, so the whole weekend was just her. And it's like, I'm not encouraging anyone to not have a girlfriend. But what he was doing was, is like, you think you're working hard, but if we audit your hour by hour, like, if we audit you're chilling with your girlfriend half the time. You should be doing outreach, for example. You're not doing outreach. You're with the Hilton. You've got this facilities management deal. You've got your team is not efficient. You know, there's so many things that the model wasn't work. The business model wasn't work. There's so many things I could have been working on, but I just didn't know how to work on them. So that's when it comes to the thinking. I didn't understand how to assess what needed to be sorted and prioritize, and then focus on what needs to move, what's going to move the needle, and then actually move the needle so the business moves forward. And then also my personal life as well. But then in terms of work ethic, I just wasn't working hard enough. Because that was my second business. I never understood. Again, like a lot of people may have this idea, I leave my job and then I'm my own boss, I have freedom. It doesn't work like that. You're going to work way harder. Whatever workload or whatever hours you do, just times it by 10, literally. If you work 8 hours a day, then I know it doesn't make sense, but times that by 10, now you work 80 hours a day. Like, it's like, that's how you should work. If you're going to be successful, if you're not going to work that hard, then it's probably not for you. So I didn't know that. I just wanted to be in business. I didn't understand what it took to actually be in business. And that's what he taught me: how to work, how hard to work, and how to think. Those are the three things that, if I could summarize it.
And I mean, just kind of coming in on that last point about how hard you have to work, but also just the amount of that if you can't so I had one that I was working with and they were like, well, that gives me anxiety. I'm like, well, this probably isn't for you.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean? And I said, because I'm pretty anxious and stressed all the time. They're like, oh, you look great. And I'm like, but I've got 200 plus employees that are depending on me to do my job. I've got my wife and kids that are depending on me to do it with the coaching and everything else. I've got other clients that are depending on me to help them grow their business. So yeah, you're like, hey, I got to go to bed at 9 so I can get a full 8. And all I'm thinking is 8. I hope I get that this week.
Literally.
But it's such the amount of level of stress that you feel in the building portion, because you're the last person to get paid. I think because we do have a cosmetology school too. And I'm an all business. I'm like, how many of y'all like not getting paid? And they're like, what? And I was like, because you may not get paid if you're the owner. You're paying all the bills, making sure all your stylists are paid, and then you get paid. But you might not get paid. You're cool.
I learned that one the hard way. Yeah, I learned that one the hard way. And just to jump in there quickly with the mentorship, that's when you talk about leadership as well. That's how he taught me how to lead, because he's experienced at a high level in business. But one of the reasons he actually wanted to mentor me is for that reason. So my first business, I didn't understand this. And then as I got into the second business, I started to understand a bit more. So, which is that you don't get paid sometimes, or the priority is not you. You're not the priority. Like, it's bills need to be paid. Then the team needs to be paid because they're working for you. They get a paycheck. And then if there's anything left, then you get paid. And, so basically I had about £3,000 in my business account, but in my personal account, I was like in minus. I think I was either in minus or zero, like £5, which is about $5. Like, I had nothing. I didn't even know how I was going to eat. And then when we started speaking a bit, and then he actually opened my banking app and he saw it and he said, then he was like, I'm going to work with you because you understand that. You understand that, it's not about, this is leadership. You're a leader. You've hired people and you said you're going to pay them. So regardless of what happens with you, you're the leader. So if you have to be sacrificed, if you don't get paid, that's just what it is. And because I was physically obviously I can say that, but when he opened the banking app, you could see my bank had nothing and the business account $3,000, which sounds like a lot of money, but obviously payroll it's nothing. So I needed even more than that. I probably needed $10,000. I only had 3, but that's besides the point. The point is that he mentioned that he was like, you know what? I'm going to work with you because you seem to understand how to sacrifice. And I can work with you. I can help you out, because with that sort of mindset, you can go places. But a lot of people don't have that mindset. They're just like, I need money, so I'm going to take the money. So, or whatever. It's like, they just don't understand that leaders have to sacrifice sometimes. You're the leader. If you didn't like it, you should have been the leader. You should just get a job. It's fine. Don't be the leader. It's not. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to touch on, because you'd mentioned your girlfriend that you had at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm not telling everybody don't have that, but that's what I would tell everybody is the most important business decision you'll make is who you decide to make your partner, your life partner. Because if whoever he or she is not on board with you, your business will not succeed. It's going to fail. It's going to flop because they're always going to be like, Aaron, why aren't you spending time with me? Jay, why aren't you spending time with me? Do you not care about me and the kids? Do you not care about, hey, we've got this activity over here to go do, and we've got that activity to go do. That partner is going to propel you forward and make you successful as you build your business because they understand it's important to you because that's how you're going to provide.
Yeah.
And they want the same and they want to see you successful. So they've got to be willing to sacrifice, like you said, in that time that right now, while you're not making a whole lot of money.
It's tough, man. That was a problem in the relationship as well. So I didn't have any money. So that's not the greatest, but it is what it is, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to go out on a date with no money.
Literally. You have to go on a walk, man. There's a lot of walks going on. There's a lot of walking.
Oh man. Oh, that's good stuff. And so kind of as we're starting to wind down a little bit, starting to get towards the end of the time, one I love to talk about that is, I believe all leaders are readers, but not all readers are leaders. And so we'd mentioned that you were like, yeah, reading is one of my priorities. So what would be one book that you would recommend anybody starting out, could be business, entrepreneurship, leadership, that you recommend them to read?
Can I go with two?
Go with two.
I've read a few books. I think we discussed one, the Shake CEO, but we won't discuss that because if you're talking about the most impactful for business, it was Profit First. For life and business in general, but it's such a 360. It really supports and elevates your mindset around everything, which is Atomic Habits. So Atomic Habits for life. Profit First business. My business and my business life changed instantly when I read the Profit First book. My life in general and because I got better, so my business got better. But Atomic Habits, I'll say life. So my life literally changed. I read that book and that was it, man. I'm sure you've probably heard this a million times. If you listen to other podcasts with celebrities, they all mention this book. This book is crazy. Like this book, game changer, absolute game. Now my whole life changed when I read Atomic Habits. My business life changed when I read Business First. Well,
and to talk about just 1% better, just get 1% better, just a little bit better. That's one of my favorite examples too. They do where he opens it up with you just change a flight leaving from Los Angeles heading to New York City. You change the heading 3 degrees south, you land in Washington D.C. and not New York City.
See, so you read the book. That was the exact quote.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. I even did a book review on it as one of the episodes. I don't remember which one, but absolutely loved the book. When I was like, ooh, ouch, stop it, James, man.
He dug deep in that book. That book was a game changer, man. Absolute game changer.
No, it was. That one was good. And Profit First. Yeah, I'll have to go add that one to my list.
100%.
And then what about one that you recommend, or that maybe you just finished reading or reading right now?
For leadership and business, I would go with what we discussed previously. I think I would say the Shake CEO, which is the ruler of Dubai, by the way. So the ruler of Dubai, the royal family, he's the leader of Dubai. I would read his book. And I would say the biggest theme, definitely read that book. I read it when I was so inspired when I was in Dubai. I bought the book when I was in Dubai. I read it in Dubai. It was just it for leadership. I'd say it's the biggest thing it supports with. It can really elevate your game on is leadership, execution, and speed. These are the 3 things that book taught me. And even my theme for 2025 was from that book, which is speed. Like every problem, well, you can read the book, but like every problem you think you have, if you just move faster, it will be solved. Like literally, there's no problem that you cannot solve without speed. Like with the Burj Khalifa, as you probably know, is the tallest building in the world. Um, the pace that the leader was moving at is just ridiculous. Like, he upset. I mean, read the book. He upset a lot of people. He upset family members. He had to fire family members. Teams, whole entire teams. They didn't really. They respected him, but I don't think a lot of people liked him because he's tough, man. His speed is like ridiculous. Like the speed he wants things done is just not human, which is why they built the tallest building in the world, which is why they built the Palm. I don't know if you guys know about Dubai. They built the Palm Island. It's a man-made island. I was staying on the Palm. I did my jog on the Palm. I did a 5K jog, which is where I got the inspiration to even read the book, is because I was with a friend. He does like engineering and construction. And we was just like jogging, and we finished the jog, was walking, and I was looking at some of just the way they built, like, because we was on the edge of it, so we're next to the sea, so we see how they built out in the sea. You can see the little the structures underneath the land, and it's like how did they do this? Like, it's massive. Like, if you go to Dubai and you go to the Palm, yeah, it's ridiculously, like, it's crazy. It's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing. And they built all these mansions with private beaches. It's just like, how have they done this? There's a lot of controversy around it because people say, low skilled, low paid labor and all this sort of stuff, which I totally understand. But that's besides the point, because what I always say, like I brought back what I initially mentioned in this conversation, is my business growth is dependent on me and my leadership skills. So you got to ask yourself a question. If there's low skilled, low paid work from Asian continent, African continent, and they brought them into the Dubai to build these lands, to build the Palm, build the Burj Khalifa, and the working conditions aren't that great, and it's a bit controversial, but it is what it is. The question is this, though. These people, they're not skilled. So it's like, what kind of level of leadership does it take to get people that are low skilled on low salaries to execute a structure of that level? Because I think a lot of people that maybe listen that have businesses, it's like, sometimes you struggle with people because they don't have the skills or they can't use their initiative, your team members that you may hire or some contractors. You're thinking that if this guy would just use his initiative or do certain things, I wouldn't have to tell him everything. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he should just, typically you want higher skilled people, which you have to pay more, but then they do more without you having to tell them, which is great. Every business owner wants that. But then, like, what I learned, this is what I learned from my mentor, SOPs. He taught me everything about SOPs, standard operating procedures. And he taught me something that maybe is a bit of a quote that people can take. He said, well, I kind of made this quote up myself, but it's from what he said. He said, you are expecting too much out of certain employees because you do not pay them enough to think. You need a system that people of a certain salary range or whatever it may be can just copy and paste. And if they can't do that, which technically anyone can do, then they're probably not best for your business. But it's like, business is about systems anyway, but it's like, I had a different mindset. I thought that, you pay someone and they should do this. And it's like, no, you need a system. Like, where's the system and how valuable is the system? How easy is it to execute that system? Then you hire people around that. And that's the skill and that's the value of a business. And when you talk about the Sheikh CEO in Dubai, they had I don't know what their SOPs look like, but they must be ridiculously detailed, because to build something that was literally impossible, the Palm, they said it was impossible. Burj Khalifa, they said it was impossible. The people that were building it, the engineers, they said to him, like, I'm sorry, but this is like, we can't do this. And he was like, cool, but we're going to do it anyway. And he told them, when they told him they can't do it, he said, we're going to do 30% higher. We're going to build the Burj Khalifa 30% higher, and we're going to do it in less time. So the more they said we can't do it, the more pressure he put them under to do it at a quicker time. So that's his thing. It's just speed. Just build it. Oh, there's a problem. Okay, don't worry. Let's just move past the problem so quickly that it's not a problem anymore. Oh, we can only build 110 meters. Okay, let's just build it to 150. Then we won't have 110-meter problems. Like, he's just like, just go. How do we do it? I don't know. Figure out. So it's like, that's how he works. It's just a immense pressure and pace that, it's just, I've never heard.
They asked the right question at the end was, how do we do it? Instead of, we can't do it. How do we do it?
And in the book, he mentions that a lot. He says the right questions, always ask the right questions of your team, but you need to hire the right people that will ask themselves the right questions. They should be asking themselves. So you just say, execute, you give them the support, and then it's like, they got the budget over there. So money wasn't a problem. Everything was there. It's just, are you the right guy to execute this, what we need to execute? Because if you're not, he was ready to fire very quickly. He would fire family members, whoever, he doesn't care. He chops people off. He just moves on to the next. It's all about execution for him. So he's a bit ruthless, but lessons, I learned a lot of lessons about his leadership.
Absolutely. And so the last question I like to ask everybody, Jay, is what's one question that maybe I should have asked you that I didn't ask?
One question you should have asked me that you didn't ask me. What's my biggest failure?
All right. So what would you say is your biggest failure?
Now I've got to think about it. I've had so many failures. So I've got to think about it. My biggest failure was being too scared to take action and start everything I'm doing now sooner. Not just the business, just my journey that I've been on. I was just scared to take action. I think my biggest problem was I was scared to take action, because taking action, I've realized, causes you to get to a certain point. Typically is a breaking point. You fail or you have challenges, you learn and you grow. And that's what I've been doing. But if I was able to do that sooner, I would be in a better position. So the biggest failure I had was being too scared to take action. That was literally, there's nothing else, man. If I just took the actions I've been taking now sooner, I'll be in a better place quicker. And I would have experienced a lot more quicker as well. So scared to take action, biggest failure.
Yeah. Oh man, fear, it'll get you. I love the little, have you heard the acronym that some people use for fear? Have false evidence appearing real.
Yeah. Sure.
Face everything and rise.
I like that. That's probably an American. I'm sorry. I think that's an American one. That's more American. It's more of a half glass half full sort of mindset, which is great.
Yeah. I don't tend to look at that. I just look at is there stuff in the glass? Do we like this, whatever's in the glass? If not,
fair enough.
So, well, Jay, man, I appreciate you hopping on here and spending a little time sharing your experience. It's been phenomenal. That anybody wants to reach out to you, connect with you, how do they reach out to you?
I would say LinkedIn's the easiest thing. You know what the business does. So if you know anyone or you are someone that wants support with some of the stuff we offer, that's fine. LinkedIn's where I'm at. That's where I live. So just drop me a DM. If you want to collaborate, talk about anything, maybe I can appear on your podcast, maybe you can appear on us, whatever. It's totally fine.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put that down below in the description, guys. That way, if you want to reach out to Jay, you can. I'll also put the link to his podcast. Excellent podcast. If you're not watching it, great one for any thought leaders. And so, Jay, appreciate you hopping on. It was fun. We'll definitely have to do it again.
100%. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks. Wow. What an incredible conversation with Jay George, founder of Learn First, and a true champion for personal and entrepreneurial growth. From the power of mentorship to the courage it takes to push past your fear and take action, Jay reminds us that leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about being willing to grow, learn, and lead with intentions. And so, if today's episode spoke to you, take a moment to reflect. Say, what actions have you been putting off? And what's one step you can take today that brings you closer to becoming who you are meant to be? And so I want to share with you my top takeaways from today's episode with Jay. And the first one is personal growth fuels business growth. Your business cannot grow further than where you are personally. It's that important, guys. It's that important. Second, take action, even when you're afraid. That if you get paralyzed by fear, so if you've got paralysis by analysis, that the best thing you can do is take action. And then that brings us to point number 3. Get you a mentor to accelerate your growth. Okay. That having that person, look, it's like, we're working in the forest. We're inside the forest. We're by the trees. That you need somebody who's up above that can see and then relate to you and say, hey, this is what I did. And that's where you need to go. Point number 4. Hey, is your circle matters. Look, guys, you're going to become a sum of the top 5 people that you hang around with all the time. So figure out, who do I want to imitate the most? Who do I want to be like the most? And start hanging around them. And I love how he said it. Reading and learning, they're non-negotiable. that if you're wanting to get better and be better, that you have to make sure that you are reading. Reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. And listen, just like building a great team takes intentionality and precision, building a great space does too. That's why we're proud to be partnered and sponsored by Hubbard Flooring Studios. That if you're ready to upgrade your home or office with top-notch flooring and service, give Vicki and the team a call at 225-924-1582 or visit hubbardflooringstudio.com. Make sure you tell them that the coach sent you. Now, as always, if this episode inspired you, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you follow, click all the buttons, do all the things, and send it to all your people. And if you're ready to take the next step on your leadership journey, connect with me on all socials at coach_A_Clark. I'd love to walk with you. And remember, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. So keep leading, keep growing, and keep innovating. Until next time, stay inspired and connected, and I will see you on the next episode of the Clark Connection Podcast. Thanks for listening to the Clark Connection Podcast, where my goal is to add value to you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the show. You can also connect with me via my website, coachaclark.com, or on all socials at coach_A_Clark. The links are in the description. Huge thanks to my sponsors, Wayne with 7K Metals, Bobbie with the Comfy Quest LLC, Andrew with Automate Integrate Professional Services, Joseph with Landscape King, and Chris and Jess with C&J Embroidery. We look forward to bringing you more great content. See you next week.